After 15 years, Mario Football is finally back, or should I say Mario Strikers Football, with the return to the series with Mario Strikers Battle League on the Nintendo Switch. Now I know this has been out for a couple of weeks or even over a month or two at this point, but I picked it up a little bit later. I've had some time to play the game now. It's something that I was kind of looking for a while. Never got one on the Wii U, finally got one on the Switch. It's a game I really enjoyed on the Wii, and playing this new version of the game, it got me thinking about that game that I really enjoyed on the Wii. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about the nostalgia feels I get for Mario Strikers Charged Football from playing Mario Strikers Battle League, and how the new game kind of misses the mark for me in some ways. Even though it is a good game, there are definitely some problems, and this is not going to be a review, just some thoughts I have on the game and my opinions on the franchise and how I've enjoyed it in the past and what I'm missing from it now. But I'm sure there'll be some things here I'll talk about. People have spoken about in their reviews and issues with the new game, and ultimately how it is still fun underlying as a game, but maybe the price point is what could be a talking point in regards to if it's worth it for you. So we'll get straight into the video. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. If you do like the content I'm providing you, I haven't been here for a while, but please subscribe. My intention is to try and be a little bit more regular with posts, videos like this, talking about my feelings and thoughts about games that I enjoy playing, kind of like discussions and topics and conversations. So that's what I intend to do going forward, and streaming on Twitch as well. But let's get straight back into the video. Apologies in advance if I'm saying either of the games and names wrong, but obviously it's quite a mouthful either way around. But the new Mario Strikers game on the Switch, Mario Strikers Battle League, you know, it's not been out for too long, but I feel like it's definitely a missed opportunity for Nintendo. There's a couple of reasons for this. I think one of the things talked about quite a lot is the lack of game modes. Hopefully that'll be addressed in perhaps future updates. And then there's some other things missing. Doesn't seem to do that many characters, that many arenas. If you're playing single player, as I said, with the game modes, you're just doing the cups. The cups are kind of based on different play styles, so you might have some teams that are like focused on really good shooting or really good passing or speed, and then every team in that cup is that same style, so not really that much variety once you crack how to beat each one. I believe you do unlock a hard mode after you've done it all. I haven't quite got there yet. You've got quick play features, and then there's like an online mode where you can essentially play like pro clubs like you would in FIFA, I guess. Obviously only 4 of you on a team. I haven't managed to play this, unfortunately, though. I feel like the way it's set up is designed, if you've got a couple of friends on the game, perfect, easy to get into a team and jump in and play a game together. But you can join random teams, but you know, if you don't really know about who they are and when they're on, it's quite difficult to organise when to play, I guess. So I feel like there's definitely more they could have done here, but that's not what this video is about. The gameplay, on the other hand, it is very fun. It is a Mario Strikers game, and that's, you know, the core mechanics of a game are there. It's just hopefully they can expand on it further. However, I am feeling when I'm playing it that I miss aspects of the old game, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. So I don't know how to start this, but maybe, well, I've got some clips probably shown on the screen now of the 2 different games, and I went back to play them both just to sort of like revisit that nostalgia, just to see, like, am I just remembering it being better than it was, or do I actually miss it? And I went back and yeah, okay, I remember it probably in some aspects being better than it were, especially when it comes to the graphics. I mean, it's quite, comparing the two graphically, as you'll see in the video, you know, it looks a lot worse now when you're looking back against the new game. Obviously it's fine, it's still playable, it's the Wii graphics, it's what you'd expect. But when that was the thing at the time, like, no one really criticised that, I guess, and that's what you were used to. But yeah, looking back on it, you know, it is still good visually for the Wii, but compared to the new game, it just shows how far that has come with the graphics. And the Switch is underpowered, but it still looks really good, the Switch version, Mario Strikers Battle League. But on the Wii, Mario Strikers Charged, I just feel like it's more of a party game, even though the new game is trying to be a party game on the Switch, and ultimately is one. There's more party game features. I feel like it's a little bit easier to get into, a bit easier to learn. I can't imagine myself playing Mario Strikers Battle League with some friends easily and explaining to them all the different buttons and techniques and stuff, and then picking it up like straight away easily. I feel like it'd take a good couple of games. I know you've got some of the more difficult mechanics, which are good parts of the game, don't get me wrong, like the team tackling, the way you do the charged up shots now is, I feel, a bit more tricky, where you've got to like pass the ball, hold on the button while the ball's being passed, and then release it straight away, or something similar. I might have explained it not very well, but it's quite tricky to master that because there's not much time in between when the ball's being passed. So yeah, it's quite tricky to do. So I guess the skill gap, like you can play it, but to get really good at it, I guess it's a good thing in a way that they've got that there. But going back to the Wii game, I don't know, just something about it, you pick it up and it's just fun straight away. And one of the big things that I don't like about the new game compared to the old one on the Wii is the character selection. So it's quite a narrow character selection for a start. You can pick basically any of the captains. So you've got like Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Rosalina, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi. Okay, so they're all like main characters, yeah, and Daisy has actually since been added in the first update, which was also added in Arenas. So I talked about the fact they needed to update the game. They're doing it slowly. There's some things coming, obviously they've been added now, so let's hope that progresses and more comes over time, and it is a free update. But yeah, so they are the characters, and you can pick 4 of those for your team, whereas in the Wii game you used to pick one of them to be like your captain. Okay, so this is one of the main differences. You now pick 4 of these to make up your team, so not that big of a character pool. If they were all your captains, I think that would be good, because you're picking 4 of them for your team, and you can have duplicates, I think. So like you could have a team of Yoshis, for example, because they all do have different stats, and you can now edit these stats with gear, so there is more customization in different ways. But ultimately, if you're picking 4 of these people to make a team, you can make 2 completely different teams, and then you've only got 2 or 3 nowadays characters left over. Obviously there's a lot of different combinations, but I just mean if these are all captains and then you've got others to pick from, like in the old game, which I'll explain in a second, I feel like that's what's missing here. And that's what I liked about the old game. So you'd pick the captain, and then you'd have a sidekick. So you'd have like the main characters as the captains, and then some of the side characters in the Mario franchise as sidekicks. So the sidekicks would consist of, for example, Toad, Boo, Drybones, Monty Mole, Koopa, Birdo, Hammer Brothers, and Shy Guy. Okay, so you'd pick one captain, similar to the characters I listed for the new game now, and then you'd have 3 of these in your team as sidekicks. Okay, they'd all have kind of different abilities and different specials to use during the game. So in the new game, obviously picking these captains, they all can do the same things essentially and just have different stats. The only thing that's really different between them is when you do the super strike, they have a different animation, okay, but essentially it's doing the same thing, it's just showing a different animation, and it's just their stats that make them different. Whereas in the old game on the Wii, you'd have the captain, that's the same thing for the captains in regards to their stats being different. However, with the weapon system that's in the game, they'd have their own unique weapon that does something just for that character. So for example, I often played as Luigi, and he would have like a big mushroom, so he'd be able to run around and trample on people, so that was quite fun. And I believe like King Boo would do this thing that sort of screeched, and whoever was in there got knocked out for a little bit of time. But that's just 2 I remember off the top of my head. And then each of the sidekicks, as well as having their own stats, so some will be quick, some will be heavy and slow, but then good at shooting. The quick one's not so good at shooting, but a bit nifty and that sort of thing. They'd all have their own special shot ability, which could make it really interesting when it comes to score, opens up your options there. And they'd also have their own sort of dodge ability. They have got dodge in the new game, and I do like the dodge feature in the new game, because you get like a boost if you do it correctly, and again, more skill based there. But in this game, like the dodge, for example, for Hammer Brothers is he jumps up in the air and he throws a hammer down, and if you get caught in it, you obviously knock the opponent out briefly. Or there's a couple of characters who've got Toad, Boo, and Drybones, where their dodge, Boo kind of go invisible for a duration, and depending how like charged up the ball is at that time, you go further. And you can actually use these as well, not just the dodge, but you can use it in a way where you can score a goal out of it by like going invisible through the keeper and ending up in the net. As if I remember to put the clip in, I'll put it in here, and you can see an example of what I'm talking about. With Toad, you can just do a little flip, so you can flip over the people who try to tackle you, but obviously you can also use that on the goalkeeper and score a goal out of it. It's quite cool, it feels good when you do stuff like that as well. That was part of the fun of the game. And Drybones does something quite similar to Boo, with a little like terrible dash sort of thing. And then they're shooting the special shots, for example. Hammer Brothers, he jumps up in the air, chucks a couple of hammers down and shoots. So if you get close enough to the goal, the hammers can hit the keeper and knock him out of the way, and you basically got a free goal, and it stops anyone in the way as well blocking the shot. And then the likes of like Drybones, if he charges up his shot full, he releases a shot with like an electric sort of pulse, hits the keeper. If it's the keeper, not someone in between, again stuns the keeper, and you've got a free goal if you can get to the rebound. It's not like a guaranteed goal, but again, it helps. And you can't always pull these shots off because you've got to charge them down, so it's not like it's overpowered or anything. But anyway, those sort of things are what I really enjoy about this Mario football game, because it's not FIFA. It doesn't need to be all about skill. And I think if it's going to be a party game, then make it a party game. And these sort of things I think are missing from the Switch version of Mario Strikers, because it is still a party game, but it's trying to bring more skill into it, which I'm fine with it, but I feel like they are missing some of the party elements that made the series good in the past and made it fun for me. And as much as I'd enjoy the game on the Switch now, I just think these things are missing, and if they added these things on top of what they've built on, it would just be really strong and really solid, other than the game modes issue. But yeah, I'm a bit gutted a little bit, because I feel like I want to merge the two together and have like the ideal Mario Strikers game that I would like in my mind. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Obviously, they've changed the dodge mechanic, so it is just that now, it's a dodge, and if you do dodge or tackle, you get a bit of a speed boost out of it, and you've got like a dash you can do now, a little sprint thing. That's a new feature. And don't get me wrong, the animations are really, really good. They're really, I like the art style of this game anyway, the cover art on both of them, the whole franchise, or the whole series, sorry. The art style is really good. The like grungy looking sport football, it really suits the game and the vibe that it's given, and it is good. It's really strong. I just hope if there's another one in the future, maybe they can build in this direction, the way that I've been talking now, on top of the platform they've got now on the Switch. Because I don't think I'd be the only one to say it, but I definitely feel the Switch version of this game is a massive missed opportunity. It's a game they wanted to have kind of like a service where people jump in all the time. They have a seasons mode through the Pro Clubs thing I said earlier, and you want people to keep coming back and playing. And I just don't feel like there's enough there and enough to hook you and to continuously do that. Not at the moment anyway. A couple of the other things I miss from the Wii version of the game. So you used to be able to charge the football up by like holding down the shoot button and passing the ball, and you can still kind of do something similar, and I did touch on it earlier, but it's so much more difficult to do now, and you just be pinging the ball in the old game around, like the colour would change depending how charged it is, and you'd be pinging it around, and it just makes the game so fast paced, so fun. It won't always come off if someone blocked the pass or shot. You could have a big tackle come in because you're doing that sort of thing, but then if you get a shot away, like you've got a powered up shot, and I don't know, I just feel like that's missing from the new one as well. You can still do a similar thing, but it's so much more harder to sort of implement and nail that I just don't feel like it's worth it half the time, because I'm concentrating on trying to get these powered up passes and combinations that I end up just giving the ball away all the time. That's why I feel in the new game anyway. Maybe it's just me being bad, but I'll be interested to see how everyone else is managing with that. And then the other thing is, which I'm not saying they should bring this back, but another feature that again adds to the party aspect of the last game, was when you were doing the supercharged shots, you'd actually have to manually save them if you're having them against you with the Wii remote and obviously the motion controls. Now I understand why they wouldn't do that, and now they've changed it to more of a like button mash tapping button, which I don't know if that's the solution. It's obviously a feature they're always going to add into the game, and it's fine, it works fine. I'm not sure if they've implemented the best way they could, but then I don't really have another solution for that. Other than that, the weapons are really good. The rest of the game, generally good. They've got the team tackles, as hard as they are to sort of use sometimes. Another good feature they've added. And like I said earlier as well, the customization options with gear adds a whole new dimension, and the store, and you earn the in-game credits. But again, another good feature added, but this probably could have been expanded on a little bit more. But nonetheless, this wasn't meant to be a review, just some thoughts I've had since playing the new game, and the nostalgia I've had for the game on the Wii, that I played the new one and felt myself going back to play the old one just to check if I was going mad, or just having that classic nostalgia you have for old games. But it's definitely correct in what I'm thinking. Like, in my mind, there's features in this old game that could have just been brought over in some way or expanded upon, as well as the stuff they've expanded upon already, just to make a better game. And I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't do some of these things, but it is what it is. It's still a fun game, and nonetheless, I just don't know if it's worth the full price, £50 when it launched. I don't think you can get it for 40 now. I bought it second hand, so I paid 30 for it, probably on the limit of what I think it's worth. But the thing is, it's a Nintendo game, so unlikely to get it less than that unless you're finding a good deal somewhere. But it's still fun to play. If you can definitely play with other people, then I would say get it. But if you're going to just play it on your own, not so sure. But there we go. Let me know what you think about Mario Strikers Battle League in the comments. Are you missing aspects from the old game on the Wii, or even maybe the original on the GameCube, which I didn't mention, but didn't really have too much experience with that one myself. That's why I've not really talked about it. But let me know your views in the comments below, and hopefully I shall see you soon in another video, if I hopefully manage to be more consistent, which is the plan on the channel. But thank you for the support, and I shall catch you next time.